Hoka One One, Hoka One One, Hoka One One, Rapa Nui 2. What? Ginger Runner. What's up everybody, Ethan Newberry here for another GingerRunner.com review. Today I'm very excited because I'm dropping 3 reviews on your faces. That sounds disgusting. All the reviews are for products from one manufacturer, Hoka One One, and yes, that is how it is pronounced. You are currently watching the review for the Hoka One One Rapa Nui 2. Hello. Before we get started, I have to let you know that I have 2 other reviews for Hoka shoes. We have the Stinson Trail and the Bondi 2, but if you'd like, you can just stick around here for the Rapa Nui 2. Thank you for sticking around. So the Rapa Nui 2, I would say, is Hoka's most minimal shoe. You can't call any Hoka minimal, but this particular Hoka has less midsole material than the other Hokas that we have been reviewing today. So I'm gonna call it minimal, even though it's not minimal. Maybe it's minimal maximal? Regardless, Hoka is the creator of this trend now in maximal shoes. They've been doing it for years, but now other manufacturers are jumping on board and creating shoes that have all this cushioning. What they've gone and done is taken the recipe for a successful maximal cushion shoe and helped distill it down to a less maximal shoe, and out came a little baby called the Rapa Nui 2. Again, maybe not the best word choice either. I really like this shoe. I ran the North Face 50 miler in this shoe. Was it the right choice of shoe for that particular course? I will say that I finished, and I finished in a new 50 mile PR. Whether I can contribute that to the shoe or not has yet to be debated. But I will say, while it is one of my favorite Hokas, I also have some severe problems with it that deter me from possibly using this in another ultra event. So what do you say? Let's get started. Things that I like about the Rapa Nui 2. As I mentioned, it's a minimal Hoka with a stack height of 21 and 26 millimeters and a heel drop of 5 millimeters. Compared to the other Hokas, which are over 30 millimeters in stack height, this one pales in comparison, and the ride is completely different. It is a light Hoka. Compared to the other Hokas that I've reviewed today, it is by far the lightest at 10.8 ounces. That is still heavy, but it is the lightest of the 3. So I like that aspect. Responsive. The EVA that they're using in this particular Hoka, I don't know if it's the same recipe as the other shoes and they just crimped it in more, but it's extremely stiff. The EVA does not feel as soft or as cushioned as the other shoes. There's not as much of it, but it doesn't feel like there's less of it. It just feels like it's been pancaked together more, so it's more dense, which contributes to the shoe being more responsive. Best looking. Out of the 3 shoes that I reviewed today, I think this is by far the best looking shoe. I have actually worn this in public with jeans, and no one said anything. I don't think this is terribly ugly. Flexible. This is the most flexible Hoka that I reviewed today. As you can see, it's not terribly flexible, but it's more flexible than the others. I do like a flexible shoe, especially for trail running, so any little bit of flexibility I can get out of a shoe, I like it. Outsole. The Rapa Nui 2 has traction in spades. Tons of talons on the bottom of the shoe just gripping dirt, rock, soil, everything. This thing is awesome. I have run all sorts of terrain in this thing, even roads, and it has never failed to get traction. I really, really like that aspect of the shoe. The upper is awesome. It's thin and it's seamless. There's some welded elements on here, but otherwise it's all one piece, and I really enjoy that. It's kind of a draw between this and the Bondi upper. I really do like the seamless upper of this one. It's simple and it's comfy. Price. The MSRP of the shoe is $130, which makes it the cheapest Hoka you can get at regular pricing. So that kind of puts it in the realm of affordability for the regular market. And I think that's a real smart move on Hoka's part. That being said, there are some things I dislike about the Rapa Nui 2. The cushioning. As I mentioned before, the EVA used in this particular shoe feels denser. You're not getting as much cushioning as you would in the other Hokas that I've reviewed today. And that has made for an uncomfortable ride for me in long hauls, specifically in that 50-mile run. My feet were pretty hurting by the end of that race. Narrow. Of the 3 shoes, I would say this is the most narrow. The toe box is not as wide as I want it to be. You can actually visually see how not wide it is. My toes don't get a ton of room display. That to me was one of the big faults. Seems like a small dislike, but the tongue isn't long enough. I ran into some major issues during the North Face 50-mile race when I wasn't able to lock in my ankle. What ended up happening was that the laces started to dig into my foot because there was nothing protecting my foot from the laces being too tight. It resulted in me having to remove the laces from a couple of the eyelets up at the top just to keep the shoes on my feet and not cause any sort of blistering or skin irritation. It was painful. It hurt. I mean, no like that. The laces. As with the Stinson Trail, it came with the quick laces already built into the shoe. I actually cut these out, and this is what I would recommend you do. Cut them out as soon as you get the shoes and put in the included regular laces. It's a much easier way to customize the fit to your foot. Flexibility. As I mentioned, it is the most flexible Hoka that I've reviewed today, but I still need a little bit of flexibility in my shoes, if only to remove some of the fatigue that my foot gets when it's not able to move how it wants to move. While the EVA is nice and absorbs all the shock, it doesn't allow your foot to really bend how it's supposed to, specifically in the Rapa Nui 2 because of the denser EVA. So that's it for the Rapa Nui 2. As I mentioned, I ran the North Face 50-mile race in this shoe entirely. I didn't swap out, so that should be testament to the shoe more than this review, to be totally honest. It's good, but it's not not my favorite shoe that I reviewed from them. Definitely worth a try if you are in the market for a maximal cushion shoe. This will be at the bottom end of that maximal cushioning according to the Hoka line, so it's worth a shot. Let's get on with the points. Quality, I'm gonna give the shoe 4 out of 5. Obviously it's a high quality shoe. Hoka doesn't put out anything other than that. There's no fraying, there's no splitting, there's no holes. The outsole is holding up great. Comfort, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. I don't think it's the most comfortable Hoka that I've tried. It's just not soft enough. Compared to the other Hokas, it doesn't have that same soft, pillowy feel. Price, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 at $130 MSRP, which means it might go on sale at some point. It is the most accessible price of any Hoka, but just out of that comfortable spending zone for a lot of people when it comes to running shoes. Looks, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. It's a borderline 3-4 for me because it is the most attractive looking Hoka, but really you're comparing this to clown shoes? I think they need to keep things fairly simple like the upper of the shoe, but add more colors, more vibrancy, and less Ed Hardy style tattoo printing. That brings our total to 14 out of 20 for the Rapa Nui 2. I think it's a good score for this shoe. If you guys have run on the Rapa Nui 2, let me know in the comments below what you think of it. If you have run on other Hoka shoes, also let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Now don't forget, I have 2 other reviews. I have the Stinson Trail and the Bondi 2. So be sure you check out those 2 reviews of Hoka as well. And scene. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please like and favorite it, and of course share this video. It's the only way that people are going to even hear about the Ginger Runner and my reviews. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm posting new videos every single week. You can find me on all the social networks, Twitter @TheGingerRunner, Facebook, facebook.com/TheGingerRunner. Over on Instagram, I'm @Ethan Newberry. I'm posting photos from my runs, training, beers, all sorts of good stuff. And of course, visit gingerrunner.com, which is kind of the hub for it all. I post everything there at some point. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please get out there, train hard, race harder, and party hardest. That is why we are all doing this. Remember, you gotta have fun, right? Train, race, beer. We'll see you guys next time.